All right, so let's wrap up our fourth and final video lecture on chapter 14, talking about the Americas and Oceania. So let's talk about Oceania. So first of all, remember Oceania is all those hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of islands in the Pacific, places like Hawaii and Easter Island, and Fiji and Australia, New Zealand, New Guinea, Papua New Guinea, what we call Micronesia or Polynesia. All those places in the Pacific Ocean, we are going to simply group them all together as Oceania. So, a few things to look at is Australia. First thing about Australia we need to know is that the people of Australia, they're called Aboriginals, right? These are the original people that lived in Australia, the native people of Australia. So we call them Aboriginals, and one of the things that unique about them is that they're going to remain in a Paleolithic economy, right? They're going to remain hunter-gatherers. They're going to remain nomadic across, all the way into the early modern era, right? So this would be a Paleolithic hunter-gatherer from Australia, one of those Aboriginal people. And these Aboriginal people, they're going to have a lot of trade between each other, just like Paleolithic people used to trade between each tribe. The people of Australia are going to do the same thing. Now, one of the things that we're also going to notice is that they're going to have very limited trade outside of Australia. And mainly, the main reason is because they are not going to have anything that they need from the outside world. Right, because again, they are self-sufficient. They produce everything they need for their own survival. They do not have a food surplus. They do not have a large population, and they have very little need for like agricultural tools, right? But they are going to have some trade, surprisingly enough, with Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea is this large island right to the north of Australia. So the people of Papua New Guinea, they're agriculturalists, right? They're actually going to have farming and stuff and domesticated animals, and they're gonna sail to Australia and they're gonna have some trade because at least the Aborigines, they have some type of luxury goods that the people of Papua New Guinea might want. Now, oftentimes when we talk about the people of Oceania, we also call them by the term Pacific Islanders. Sometimes they're also called Austronesians or Polynesians, right? There's a whole bunch of different terms, but they mean the same thing. They mean the same people. So the people of the Pacific Islands, now there's like a whole new Disney movie about them, right? One thing we got to know is that they migrated across Oceania, across the Pacific Ocean, as a result of population growth, right? Especially in the islands that developed agriculture, it led to a population growth, and therefore, they had to, before they ran out of resources, the population had to migrate. Part of the population had to migrate somewhere else to another island, further and further away. So that's how we see how, starting from Southeast Asia, they're going to slowly, for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, migrate across the Pacific Ocean. And how did they migrate? Well, they had boats, they had ships, they had lateen sails, they had this special type of canoe called the double hull canoe that allowed them to transport themselves and their animals and their goods. Like they would bring, pigs, and they'll bring sweet potatoes wherever they would travel. Now, whatever islands they ended up going, we see the growth or the development or the creation of chiefs, right? So they kind of become chiefdoms, right? And each island is going to be kind of like its own little chiefdom, its own little territory. And we're not going to see like a political unity because you remember the islands, of course, and the ocean, of course, is going to be a barrier to have political central rule. And regardless of which island you're looking at, there is always going to be a common theme that the priests and the warrior classes will be the elite, while the majority of the people, or the commoners, will be in farming. One other kind of like innovation that they had with this thing called fish ponds, where basically they would grow or raise fish for consumption and for a food source as well. When you talk about Polynesian religions, there's also a lot of similarities different gods and stuff who controlled nature. The priests, again, they're going to be the upper class, and of course the fans choose the dress, the higher class that they are. All right, so that's it for the fourth and final part. Again, remember, Pacific Islanders, sometimes they're called Austronesians, sometimes they're called Polynesians. They're going to share a similar culture, religious beliefs. They're going to share similar language, right? They have a mother language called Austronesian. They're going wherever they travel to, wherever they spread to on their boats. They're going to get they're going to take their animals like the pig and the chicken, and they're going to bring crops as well. And they're all going to have the same political development of small, chiefdoms. And kind of the exception to the rule again will be Australia, right, where they are not going to develop agriculture. They're going to remain hunter-gatherers all the way into the modern era. All right, so that's it for the fourth and final part. Thank you for watching. And right now you should start doing your Unit 3 exam homework.